Alliance. He is the beast from Hollywood East, Michael the Hammer Mulligan.
Hey folks, Michael the Hammer Mulligan. Today I'm here with Dan Bonnell. What's up, Dan?
How are you, man?
Good to have you in the chair.
Let's cause some trouble.
That's it. Let's stir some stuff. All right, so this is what I know to Dan. Dan, when I first even started looking at MMA, when I first became interested, it was after I saw, Shane started training with Pat and Mike were working together, I think, at Powers. And the one name that was always out there was Dan Bonnell. You were a pro. I mean, it was online. You were stirring stuff up, but it was for cause. You wanted to fight.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know, the way I always looked at fighting was I needed like you said, I needed a cause. I needed to really be in a hate fight.
Yep.
Because my persona on Mass MMA is not the real person. You know who I really kind of am. I'm not. Sure. I come across as an asshole, and I know that, but some of it's truth, some of it's not. And the people that know me for real know how I am. But like, I'll need to fight if I want to fight. I like to fight angry rather than that calm, relaxed. Like I get butterflies like anybody.
Right, exactly.
I'd rather just
need something to hold on to.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, and that's what I did. The same thing. It was a blast. I loved. You see my videos about Foley and everything else when I was doing it. But it was important to me to get the ball rolling and give me an incentive, because I can't just look at a guy and want to punch him.
Right.
Exactly. So that's awesome. Now, what's your record in MMA?
I'm right now 12-10. Started off way back in like 2004 or 5.
Yep.
Back in the Lido days. Lost a bunch in a row.
Lido's Club Lido up in like Lynn or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like 1-4 to start, and I was with the Dragon Warrior guys. I left and went to Henzo's up in New Hampshire, which is now PMA. It's Tim Barshad's professional martial arts.
Shout out Tim. What's up?
They are Tim's a really good friend of mine. They're a Sit Your Tong affiliate. I just left Sit Your Tong now. I was training with Gresh. That was great. My neck, if I'm like this, it's from him. Him and Razan Daz.
He'll be going, my knee.
So that was good. Yeah, we've got a long-standing relationship with them, and it's good. I've had a good time. So, I mean, I've been around forever.
Well, that's why I asked. The reason why I asked your record is not because of how many wins or losses, but how many fights you actually had. And that's what it is. So you've got like 22 fights.
22 fights. I've got a clean 0-3 boxing record.
Nice.
I did do some boxing, yeah. I made it a million rounds inside the gym. But so I've been around a long time. I immediately started with Mass MMA through a friendship with Rick Caldwell. And because I was a big MassWrestling.com guy. Yeah.
No. Listen, guys. Just so you know what he's talking about, Mass MMA, right? Is it's a website that it was around for a while, right?
Yeah. At
first, and then it kind of went dormant, and then he took it back over. Somebody else had a website going that was a debacle, and then so he decided he was going to start this back up. If you ever want to know anything about local MMA, what's going on out there, MassMMA.com. MassMMA.com. It'll be stats on amateurs, stats on pros. It'll be where the fights are, who's fighting, who fought. They do the best reviews in the world. Some of them are just amazing. So that's where you need to go if you need the information. Sorry for the interruption. Go back.
We've got a lot. Yeah. Well, it started with Mark Grabowski years and years ago, back 2000 something. And he designed it. He started it. It was like him, Lozon, Joey Lozon, Biggie, Fred Palmquist, like all those guys, South Shore guys, Danny Pikes, and I started to write for them via Rick Caldwell, who had he had bought it from Grabowski, and then he had it for a few years and sold it to Denny for NortheastMMA.net, and then it started. I was like the only writer that went with it.
Right.
Stayed with it all that time, and I didn't like the direction Northeast was going. I wanted to write the way I write.
So the reason why was it changed to Northeast? That was because it was actually covering the whole Northeast, not just Mass.
Yes, because Rick changed it when he bought it from Grabowski to Northeast MMA. Denny kept it.
Yep.
Denny had some good ideas on, hey, we're gonna have some more structure. But I write when I want to write. I have a full-time job like yourself, so for me to write, it's like Sundays, and I'm taking time away from my kids and my wife.
Right.
So he wanted stuff. Okay,
he wanted it like a job. He wanted it like a job.
Just can't.
Yeah.
And then I wrote a nice article. Well, it wasn't nice, but I wrote an article where I was
a nicely done article.
I was tearing somebody up. I was tearing somebody up, and he said, "I'm not running it." And I said, "That's what I do. Like this is. It's not WWF to me. It's like I have a personality. That's a little different but like because I have writers like Nick Mahmood." Who writes for us he used to write for UFC.com.
Yep.
He's legit. I mean,
he's awesome. He's a very wordy fellow.
He writes great stuff. I've got Mike Hammersmith, who's like writes kind of like a novel.
Oh no, that's who up there, right? Yeah. So Hammersmith, right? He's way above my head on some of his stuff.
I need a thesaurus.
Yeah, you do that
thing. He's exactly. He's very he's a very good writer. It's just sometimes, a funny story about him was Pulver called me and he's like, listen, I love the guy. He's like, but he wrote this great review or preview for my fight card, and 0-0 guy, and it was like, so-and-so, he's got a punch that can break steel and
turned it into the Battle of the Stars when it was an 0-0.
And the other guy, the opponent dropped out because he was like, no, this is too much for me. And Mike was like, it's just too funny. He's like, it's no guy. And I just told Hammersmith he had a good laugh about it.
Yeah, believe the hype.
Our writers are so different. I'm the one I like to stir it up.
Yeah.
I like to kind of expose people, for some of the shit that they'll do. You saw I had an article about Karen Wesh and. She doesn't have a license to do things anymore. She's giving me heat about it. Why would you write such a thing? And
because it's true. So let me step back 1 minute now, because you just took over MMA again. All right. What the heck? Now we talked about Danny a little bit. Started to take over. He took over when it was Northeast MMA. He took over. He started to change the structure. Started changing. The time when he lost me, when I decided that I was never going to look at this website again, it was like a mass exodus from the people that I knew, was when he tried to have that it was like a convention he was going to have, like a Comic-Con or whatever. He was going to have this convention where he was charging all the schools money to have a table there, but he wasn't allowing them to sell their t-shirts and their products that they wanted to sell, and they had to pay to be there. They had to drive the miles to a place that they would never get a student from, not be able to make it time. And it turned into a big commercial thing. He was charging all the gyms and everything to do it. Now, you guys aren't like that. I mean, you might charge to have your logo or something on there to help to promote your school, but that's more of a, in my eyes, that's more of a sponsorship to help the website than it is a fee. Because you don't make no money.
We're technically not a non-profit, but I don't make a profit. So, yeah, my big thing was when he was starting to solicit for money, that's fine in a manner, but like he would call and say things, and I was getting the phone calls because I was more MMA than he was.
Right,
and they were calling me saying, hey, why is Denny asking me for $500 to write a better article about my promotion than I normally do, and that I'll stick out more than the other guys.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know, I never heard that. And then
he actually said it to one venue, I won't say which one, that if you pay me $500, I'll let you write your own preview.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'll post anything you want. I think content is great. I want you to come to my page and that it's something different, that you've got to scroll to the bottom to see yesterday's shit,
Right.
That's why I've got so many different guys, and we'll cycle them through. Some guys get burned out because none of us get paid. It's all on the...
And we all got a life.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's guys like Billy Rondan does a great job for us. He can do articles once a month, and that's all he can dedicate to. He's got a busy life. Fine, I'm still looking for guys if anybody wants to help, but
So if you're in the area, if you're local, if you know, go on to Mass MMA #1. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you're way out there somewhere, and if you know that there's fights in your area and you're passionate about it, the reason I do this is because I'm passionate about it, and this is what I like to do. I ain't a writer. That, you know, Dan's asked me before. That ain't my bag. I like to sit at the fights, enjoy them, and then go do interviews. But if you're that guy, if you like to do that, or that girl, please get a hold.
I'd love to get a South Shore person. I have a hard time. You know, Cage Titans and the other promotions like Cage FX and CES, they're great promotions that I have to drive a million miles. It took me 2 hours to get down here to the South Shore. For me to drive that far, it's tough.
And honestly, Cage Titans is probably one of the best venues around as far as watching the fight. I mean, it's the place. So, and he's a really good promoter. So that would be an easy, fun one to do.
On the way up, I was talking to Gresh too, and I said, you know, all the fighters now are in New England. They're all from the South Shore.
Right.
Best fighters are all from the South Shore. So, I mean, to not give them the not special attention, but I mean, you kind of like Pat Sullivan from CES said it to me. He's like, you know, I really like Mass MMA a lot. He's like, you tell it like it is, and he's like, you treat everybody the same, but if somebody's doing a little bit something extra, they're actually putting more money in than some of the other guys, you'll show it, you'll put it up. There's some videos I put up for this new guy, toe to toe. And I mean, if somebody's got videos like that, they deserve a front page thing.
Sure.
And there's a lot of money going into that. You can tell. So I'll post it. Some other stuff like NEF, they've got press releases that come to me via email every day, and it's 0-0 guy versus 0-0 guy, big long press release. I can't post that, man. I mean, it's just it's not newsworthy to me.
All right, so back to Denny. Where's Waller? Where did Denny go?
I don't know. Last I heard, he was doing some work with 5 Ounces to Pain, which I did some work with them too. But that's free stuff.
Where are they?
They're California based.
Oh, no kidding.
I forget the guy's name, but he just kind of approached me via email one day. Said, "Oh, can we get some of the articles that you write and post them?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I didn't care. I mean, you don't make $1 off it. So then I stopped doing it because it was more. I had to kind of write it slightly different. When I write for my site, people know who I'm talking about.
Right.
For the most part, the people that are coming. And that's how I gear it. We're not geared as a national website.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't have a clue. There's too much out there for that. That's why I do here,
Right. So I haven't heard from him, haven't seen him. I haven't seen him at any shows.
Yep.
Kind of disappeared. I think he started off as a great guy, but then he started to, asking for the money. So I know everybody's going to make a living, but MMA fighters, we don't make money. We're not.
And he knew that.
And gyms,
he knew it.
The gyms aren't making a ton of money. I mean, it's not. We're not the NFL. To be asking for so much money to do something that you want to build the sport.
Right.
I might shit talk somebody or this to try and make something happen or expose somebody, but I'm building the sport.
Exactly.
That's what Mass MMA is for, and that's why we created it, because I wanted the old stuff back, and I thought we needed to go into a new generation. Whereas our website's got all it's video capable, whereas the other one, he couldn't even post a video. He'd have to give you a link to a video.
Yeah. I gotta click on this and get to that. Yeah. All right, so Denny's gone. He's in the hills. That's one of those Ream guys that came, showed up, made a big stir, and then went to the next place. He jumps from place to place to place, and never seems to find his home. You know what I mean? So he's gone. Who's this guy I keep seeing? Who's Sparrow? What's this whole thing about here? Because I keep saying this.
It was Dave. He used to date my now wife. Okay, we were at the same gym. He went to Henzo's, where I was, and he was a gi jiu-jitsu student. He had started this spat at the school. He was a white belt, felt like he wanted to be part of the MMA team, and we had a rule that you needed to have a blue belt to do so. He had no prior background in any kind of martial art until that point, and he was a white belt, and they said, no, you got to be a blue belt, a little more time, you'll be there. You know what? I can beat anybody, any blue belt in this gym. I can beat him. that's like to your professor. That's the most disrespectful thing you could ever say. And he said it, so my coach lined them all up. All right, you can? Let's do it. Lined them all up like the next day. And I think he might have tapped a girl and a 50-year-old guy. And the rest of them, went right through him. Granted, it's one after another, so I mean it's tough, but you want to be a part of it.
Did he learn from it? Did he become humble from that experience, or no?
I don't think so. He ended up leaving a couple months later, and he went to go to some Premier team. I can't remember the guy's name, and he was training under Roger Wu. Roger Wu gave him a purple belt, so he goes from a white to a purple. And Roger Wu and my coach, they never got along anyway.
Yep.
He used to train there, and then they kicked him out. So Roger, I felt like out of spite, gave this kid his purple belt. Because he wasn't a purple. I mean, I'm still a blue. I don't train all the time, but,
and that's what it's about. It's consistent time in a row, and it's very hard as a fighter sometimes to do that.
It is, and
you train everything else.
I'm not a BJJ guy, but I understand that there's, you put so much time into something, you will get your belts. Right. Even if you're not the toughest blue, purple, brown, you put your time and your consistency. Right. You can go through the motions and the moves, and you know the basics. I get it.
Yep.
But so he left. He had a spat with Roger, and then he leaves Roger, and then starts his own gym with basically from a white belt to a purple belt. Starts his own gym, upstart thing. And he had some money to get that Throwdown affiliate.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then he started to a relationship with like Daniel Gazzoni from Boston Brazilian or BTT.
Yep.
Training with them, and then via his own students telling me, because some of them are friends of mine, because we're all in the same area up in the North Shore. He demands this brown belt. I want a brown belt.
So he's still at the same thing he was doing before.
He hasn't learned.
Yeah.
I want a brown belt, or I'm leaving. I'll find somebody else. I'll go to Team Link. Exact words. I'll go to Team Link. I'll go somewhere else.
They'll give me one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't buy it. You can't buy a belt. I mean, you hear about it, and you hear some people do, and I mean, maybe because he's got so many students. Say you have 30 students, and you give a guy a belt so that you can get his affiliation money. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I called him out on the site in a manner of speaking. I said, believing that this guy will give you his T-shirts is like believing Dave Spiro's a brown belt. So that's
a little Tom Sucker Punch reference in there.
Yeah. So that's how that started, and he had said, "Oh, you're a comedian now. Why don't you come down to my school anytime and we'll roll?" And it's like, guy, I don't want to roll. I've called him out and said I wanted to fight him for years.
Right.
And he won't. He's hiding in the amateur.
Does he fight MMA?
He does.
He's a fighter.
He's an amateur fighter. He's got like a 5-2 record.
Yep.
He fought at 170. I fought at 135.
Yep.
I said, I'll come all the way up and fight you at any weight you want. Well, I don't have any aspirations of going as a pro. I don't want to do that. And I've pulled out, well, let's do it in the gym thing to him too. And
sure.
It's just,
Dave, just so you know, I have a cage in my cellar right here at Hard Knocks Hollow. So if you care to do this, we can make it happen.
Videotape.
We got a couple GoPros on your forehead and we'll be good to go.
Yeah. To his credit, he did ask me to go to his school and to roll, but rolling jiu-jitsu with a guy I dislike is not my... I don't want to get down sweaty with you and roll on the mat and see who can wrap their legs around the other guy.
You want to punch the guy in the head.
Yeah, well, we'll just fight and then you buy a beer afterwards.
Right,
like,
exactly. Let's get it done.
I don't hate him. I think that the things he does are just...
You guys need to gain a little respect, I guess, for each other. That's one of those things where two guys go mano a mano, fight it out, and man hug and have a beer after.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. I had it. What is this now? So on the show, every once in a while, people can write in and ask questions for the guests. Now, I have one guy who actually wrote in a little while ago, and it's Little Stevie from New Hampshire. Little Stevie from New Hampshire wants to know how you beat Barrington Douse. I don't know anything about this. He says that was his question.
be talking about. So anyway, back in my WCF days, I fought Barrington Dowse. He's a tough kid. I don't know if you remember him. He's a very big 45-pound kid from the Western Mass area, Springfield.
Dude, you fought a lot of tough guys. So I mean, you fought like everybody.
A lot of names, a lot of big names. Yeah, I mean, everybody. I'll say everybody was tough. I mean, because no disrespect to even the other guys, but he was tough. It's my favorite fight, and I'll tell you why. Because in WCF we had 2 rounds. I don't know why, but we had 2 rounds to win the fight. So the first round, I was winning the fight. I had him in, a couple positions. I think I had him in mount. I had a couple arm bars on him. I felt like he was the more dynamic striker. Yep. I wanted to stay away from that because he was dangerous. He touches you, you could go out. So we're in my corner, and he fires a knee to the liver, and I died. Yep.
Little Stevie actually just sent me 2 pictures, so I saw what he was talking about.
Yeah, I was curdled up. In the fetal position.
And this is like between rounds.
He fired the knee, ding ding the bell.
Wow.
So what happens is I was saved by the bell.
Sure, literally.
Because had that happened any other time in the first round, I'm out. I'm done. Guaranteed win for him. So what happened was the bell rang, and the rules are the bell rings, the round's over.
Sure.
I had to get on the. Now I had, and I'm not name dropping. What was in my corner was Tim Bashad, Mark Delagrati, Kenny Florian, and Scott Ream.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
We had a pretty good corner going here, and he had just his Western Mass corner. So it looks like superstar versus other guy kind of thing. And some people felt like, oh, it's because of who's in his corner. I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm here. Oh, I'm done. I can't do it. Nope. My coach was flipping out. You get on that, like talking through the TV.
Sure.
Get on the stool. Pick me up. Put me on the stool. There, all this words of encouragement. Get up there. You got to get out there. I'm like, I can't. You can't catch your breath.
Yeah.
You wanna shit your pants.
Yeah.
Throw up. Everything hurts.
Sorry,
Everything hurts.
Yeah. It's almost like a knee to the.
So they literally, he's dancing around on the turnbuckle like this, thinking he won, and Kevin, the ref, is like, no, fight's on. He's like, no, I won. And they're like, no, you gotta. So he gave me an extra minute.
Nice.
So I had like 2 minutes to rest or whatever.
So the kid gave you an extra minute by running around like a meathead, because you might not have come back to the belt if he hadn't done that.
Yeah. So what happened was they picked me up, still not ready, gave me a boot right to the center of the ring, and then Barrington stood in front of me, and I stood looking at him with like weepy eyes, like, please don't hit me because I'm hurting bad. And then all of a sudden, everything went away.
All right, so you came out, so now you're back in the middle of the ring, you guys are going at it, it becomes a fight, and it ends up being a decision.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, dude, unbelievable. Well, I don't know, little Stevie from New Hampshire might have thought that it was funny, a joke, but to me that was awesome that you could come back from that. That's the heart right there. That takes a lot of heart to do that.
It was, yeah, I mean, a lot of heart, but I mean, my corners, it's like they were brothers to me, my coach,
sure.
He's a big brother to me, so it was really it was cool. It's something I can always go back and think about and remember.
Any words for little Stevie?
No.
That's what he said. He said, I'm probably going to take a beating for this on Mass MMA, but he always gives me a beating anyways.
Yeah, we're time permitted, so I can take care of it on the website.
There you go. All right, listen, you have an award ceremony coming up to celebrate the fighters and the people that are involved in MMA in the local area. Tell us about that.
Yeah, listen, this is the first time we've been able to do this in 10 years. So we're holding an award ceremony on January 25th. It's a Sunday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's at the Boston Ale House. It's Miller's Boston Ale House in Watertown. Google the address. It's right in Watertown. Right on.
Mom will put it on the screen for everybody too, so it's up here.
Okay.
It'll be right across your chest when this airs.
It's a very big deal because these guys, these local fighters, they deserve all the recognition in the world. And we've always given out invisible awards. It's just always been up on the webpage. Hey, here's Fighter of the Year. But we're talking. We've encompassed now all of New England. We're not just Massachusetts. So. We've encompassed all of New England. So for somebody to win Fighter of the Year, Team of the Year, female fighter, amateur fighter, it means a lot to these guys. And we've got over 25 awards. And for the first time ever, we're going to have a Hall of Fame inductions.
Nice.
We're going to induct like 5 or 6 guys, and there's a promotion that we're going to induct, and everybody's since retired and everything, and they're all, when you hear these names, it's like, oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a really going to be a nice thing. Give out nice plaques, nice awards. We're gonna have some food. Nothing big, but something for us. And it's a nice place, so I'm really excited about it. December is going to be a really big, busy month for MassMMA.com. So stick to the website and make sure you get your nominations in. For anybody, it's really important that everybody nominates who they think is going to win, because we tally that between our votes as the media. And then I contact all the promotions, and then you guys as the fans. So we all kind of have a third of a vote that we come to.
And also, if you're a business or a local business that's involved in MMA, or that likes MMA, or that wants to be a part of it, you could talk to him about sponsoring one of these awards, correct?
Yeah, you
can sponsor the awards.
They can reach me on the contact button at massmma.com and just email me. Anybody that wants to buy one of the awards, they can purchase an award. It's all negotiable.
Yeah, and just so I get this right, because this isn't this is a public TV show, and we can't promote any selling of anything on the show. This isn't something. This is a sponsorship. If you want to sponsor one of these awards or something to help out Dan, to help out him giving the awards to the people and to help fund that, then you could call him up and talk about a sponsorship for that.
Yeah, it's just a funding. Get them some dinner that night.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about this thing. It isn't about making money. This whole site isn't about making money. My show isn't about making money. These things are just here as an outlet for people to talk about what's going on, and it's because I think we're both pretty passionate about the sport. Anything else you want to say about Mass MMA?
Just keep following, and anybody that actually, like I said, if anybody wants to write and enjoys the sport as much as I do, and they want to come and help out, then we're just a big family of writers. I enjoy having different kinds of people. Certainly someone from the South Shore would be helpful. So you can hit me on the contact button in massmma.com.
All right. Also, now, was it true that you were going to be giving out T-shirts? Did I hear that you had some T-shirts coming?
Tommy Baker was...
Tommy Baker from Sucker Punch.
Yeah, I got angry with him on the website, and I told him he's got to get his stuff straight. He immediately called me, said, you got to take it down, I'll give you the T-shirts, and he did deliver with about 12 shirts. I brought to Combat Zone, and I gave to like a couple of the guys that I train with, Soloco, and then I was out of them quick, and I'm supposed to have them this week. It's we're in the middle of the week right now while we're taping, so I didn't have them to bring one to you.
I know. Well, I gotta say, I'm kind of used to not getting my shirts from Tommy on time, so that's okay. I mean, I'm sure I'll see you eventually, right, brother? All right, my man. Dan Bonnell, thank you very, very much for coming all the way down here. And listen, it was great. We'll do this again soon.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right, folks. Thanks for coming to another Fireside Chat with Michael, the Hammer Mulligan, and Dan Bonnell.